Hello everyone, and welcome. Back down at this spot where I built the tripods. I was hoping to come the following weekend and set up a tarp, spend the weekend. Things happened, I didn't manage to get down here. I wanted to get down here before the weather warmed up and the black flies started. This week, it got warm. I don't normally come down here once it warms up because the black flies down here are nuts. But I really wanted to give this a go. I've got an idea on how to set myself up. And I'm going to set up the tarp. And this is where we're sleeping tonight. Right in this spot. So we have all this leftover wood. And I put a pile of shorter pieces here. I think I'm going to grab some of these and use them as cross pieces, and then cut some longer ones and just build a platform to raise myself up off the ground. The weather has warmed up, but the ground is still pretty cold. So if I can get up off the ground a little bit, that'll be perfect. So here's the plan. 3 runners this way, 2 runners lengthwise, 3 more runners, 2 more runners, and I'll build this up just high enough that I can set my bed on it and be comfortable. So I've got the Agua Boreal 24. Here's my first log. Now I'm 6 feet tall, so if I go up here at about a foot, that should be plenty long enough. So now I place these 2 logs, and then I add 3 more this way, and then 2 more, and so on, until I get it to a height where I feel comfortable. So these first 2, I've just laid them right on top, no big deal. These ones, what I want to do is I'm going to put a small cut here and here. And I'm going to notch these out so that they'll sit on the logs and not move side to side anymore. Okay, I have all 3 crossers marked where I want that notch. So I am just going to cut these in a little more. Doesn't have to be pretty. It's just for one night. So that's the first one done. Let's flip it that way. Yeah, that's better. Now let's get the others done. I've got 4 sticks here. I need to make some stakes. So we'll just take the hatchet and point off the tips. Close enough. Now I'm just going to take out my knife and carve around the edge just a little bit. It's just to chamfer the edge just a little bit so that when I beat on it to pound it in, it's less likely to split. Now I realize this one's already got a split in it, but we're going to hope it survives. Now I'm going to plant these stakes right in the corners here. I cannot guarantee these stakes are actually going to go into the ground because of the area I'm in. I'm pretty much, doesn't matter where I go, there's rock everywhere. But hopefully we can get them in a little bit, enough to do the trick. That's about as far as that one's gonna go. So far so good. Speaking of rain, it's just starting. I've got my tarp here. I'm gonna go grab the tarp out of my woodshed and throw it over my gear so my gear stays dry while I set up the other tarp. Okay. It's not the greatest tarp, but it's just a light rain. That should keep my stuff dry long enough for me to get that tarp up and get the gear in there. Now, this is an old tarp I've had for quite some time. As you can see, I've used it often near fires. It's made by Woods. I bought these at our local Canadian Tire. It's 9 by 12, so I think it'll be a great size for this. So it's just a light rain, and that's basically what they were calling for, is a little bit of light rain this afternoon, and then it clears up and overnight, and tomorrow is beautiful. But I got plenty of room back there to stash my gear. That's why I brought the tarp that was so big. And the edge of my tarp is right away from the fire, so when I have my fire, if I push it to the back of the fire pit, the smoke should go up and not go anywhere near inside the tarp. I should have plenty of coverage to stay dry. I put a post here and I tied off to the edge of my table. This corner I ended up having to tie off to my my sawhorse, but it keeps that corner down on an angle so that if the rain does pool, it should all run off in that corner, well away from me and what's going on. I've cut a bunch of logs. I'm hoping I have enough. Looks like I'm going to have to cut just a few more. But you've got the idea. Nice and solid. Should be plenty long enough. Perfect. Yep. Plenty of room. If the rain picks up, I could always bring the tarp down on this side a lot lower. This is going to be great. Well, we're nice and dry under the tarp. I have my rain jacket in case I need it. Right now I'm just using it. I put all my gear up on the bed and I've got it covered just to get it off the ground so that if the ground does get wet, my stuff will be fine for now. But I'm going to clear a little spot on the ground here because it's actually well past lunch. But with my new alcohol stove, I don't need to make a fire out there in the rain. Being under the tarp, there's tons of ventilation. I can just have the stove right here on the ground where it's dry and make my lunch in here. What's for lunch today? Fusilli with cheese sauce. And I've got a small can of lemon pepper tuna. Once the fusilli is just about done, I'll open up the tuna and throw it in there. And that'll give me a little bit of protein in there and help keep me full until dinner time. Now I need 2 cups of water. Now we add that simmer ring, calm that flame down a little bit. And let that simmer for a little while. Now for the last few minutes of the cook, we're going to toss in this tuna. So the lunch is ready, and I think that there's just enough fuel left in there that I might get lucky and warm up enough water for tea. And I kick that simmer ring off, put the kettle on. That's actually pretty good. There, that's a little softer on the bum. So now I'm just going to sit here and enjoy my tea, hide out from the rain. It's not supposed to last very long. When I looked before leaving this morning, they said it would only rain for a few hours. Oh well, looks like I got time to kill. So, what have I been doing in the rain all afternoon? Made a little spatula. And it'll fit perfectly inside my little cook kit. Split up a bunch of kindling for our fire later. Did a little bit of feather stick practice. And that's about it. It's not a hard rain, hasn't been hard at all day. It's just been a light drizzle, more or less. But I'm looking around all over the bed here and there's no water drops anywhere. Everything's nice and dry. perfect. But I think now would be a good time for a Hop City barking squirrel. Because there's not much else to do other than sit here and be dry. Well, it's 4:30. It's still drizzling just a little bit, but I'm gonna have to light that fire soon. So I went and got some of the dry firewood, and I brought it under here so that I can keep it dry and not have to run out in the rain all the time. I'm gonna set up a fire lay. I'm gonna light the fire. And then once in a while I can just grab a dry piece from here and throw it on the fire and not have to go out into this rain. So the fire lay is ready. I'm going to take these feather sticks, I'll stay right here underneath the tarp, and see if I can't get them to light. Come on. There we go. And now we get to sit and enjoy the fire. Rain stopped. Black flies are starting to come back out. Yuck. But it's time to start cooking. First, we've got a little tinfoil surprise, which I need to put on the coals. So I'm going to separate some coals a little bit and put that on the coals, and then I'll set up my grill. And we have stuffed pork loin chops to put on the grill. So we're going to get the foil packet on, and then we'll set up the grill. And in a few more minutes we'll start cooking the chops. So the foil is on there doing its thing. So let's get these chops on here. Maybe my new little spatula will come in handy here. Oh yeah. So this foil packet is sizzling like crazy. I think I'm gonna move it up here where it's still warm, but I don't want to burn it. This chop is pretty much done. This other one here, oh yeah, look at that. Got a paper plate here. Huh. Maybe I'll set it there. I'm gonna take these chops off. Now I'm gonna bring you over and we're gonna have a look at what's in the foil. We have stuffed portobello mushrooms. Oh, I think those are gonna be delicious. So here we go. Take the gloves off. Let's dig into one of these mushrooms. Ooh. Mmm. Delicious. Mmm. Beautiful. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, that is amazing. All right, I'm going to sit back and thoroughly enjoy this. We'll see you in a little bit. Dinner's done. That was delicious. I've cleaned up the mess. And the nice thing about a spatula that I carved myself is if it gets a little gunky, you just carve a little more. Then it's nice and clean. You can put it away. And when it gets too small, grab another branch, make another one. Now I kind of wish I would have brought some eggs so that I could try this thing in the morning on eggs. Oh well, looks like we gotta do another video. Anxious to try it though. When I opened up that second mushroom, I guess it was a little bit thicker than the first, and it wasn't quite done in the middle. So I rewrapped it in the foil, tossed it back on the coals for a few minutes, and finished cooking it up. That was delicious. I'm going to have to do that again. I hadn't tried those. Or the pork chops. I hadn't tried the stuffed pork chops either. It's the first time I see them in the store. So I'm hoping those clouds clear up. Because I didn't know it was happening, but apparently there was a sunstorm or something last night. And a bunch of people posted on Facebook some pictures of beautiful night sky. Lots of beautiful colors. So I'm hoping if these clouds clear up, we might get lucky and have it strike twice. Who knows? If not, oh well. At least I'm camping under a nice tarp. My plan is working beautifully. The smoke is going up and away from the tarp, but some of the heat is coming in here. Perfect. And now I think I'm going to have my last one. I only brought 2, so cheers. I've checked over the entire bed. Everything is bone dry. So none of that rain got in here, which is fantastic. That means I'm going to have a great night. Sun's starting to go down. It's a good time to get the bed ready before it gets too dark. So I've got my closed cell foam pad. I've been sitting on it all afternoon. And I've got my Gear Doctor's Apollo Air sleeping pad right here. I've got my Flex Tail gear pump. Make blowing this up a whole lot easier. Mattress is full of air. Time to bust out the sleeping bag. Perfect. Final touch is going to be Dollarama pillows. Shove those inside the head. Oh yeah, that is gonna be cozy later. Later on, before I go to bed, I'm gonna take the cooler and I'm gonna walk it further back into the bush, and I'm gonna strap it to a tree. At least that way, if it does attract animals, it'll be well away from me. And I always keep my bear spray next to my bed somewhere, just in case. I have a pail here, a steel pail that I leave here in the woodshed. So I think what I'm going to do is leave that upside down here with the bear spray on it and my headlamps. Act like a nice little end table. But now we're set up for the night. I think I'm just going to kick back, enjoy the fire, put the rest of this stuff away. We'll see you guys in the morning. Have a good night. We interrupt this video for a random mail call. I got a letter here today from Tucker and I, out and about. Now, Gary from Tucker and I sent me a really nice letter. And inside, there's his sticker. He's got a very good channel of his own. Puts out lots of good content. I've been watching quite a bit of it lately. Very interesting stuff. He's quite often out with his dog Tucker and they do all kinds of things. I'll leave a description to his channel in the description box below, and I'll try and pin a link to it in the comments under the video. So now we're going to put the sticker on the sticker door. I think we're going to put it right there. Looks great. Let me get you a closer look at the door. So we have open air outdoors. View from Daryl Wells. Mine, Andy in the woods. And Tucker and I out and about. So our sticker door is growing. And like I said, Gary and Tucker have some really good videos. So if you'd like to, go and check them out. Now, let's get back to today's video. Morning, everyone. Coffee's ready. What a great night last night. We didn't get any nice fancy colors in the sky, but we got a great night under the tarp. I noticed this morning there's a couple of small burn holes in this tarp. This poor old thing. It's got pinholes all over in it. This may be just its last trip. Kept me dry though. But this morning with the light shining on it, I was laying down and I was looking up and I could see all kinds of pinholes in it. I don't know how much longer I want to trust it. Oh yeah, we're gonna wait on that. That's still hot. I'm gonna hold it though to keep my hands warm. It's not cold this morning. It's just a little cool. I'm sure once I start really moving around, it'll warm up quite nicely. I'm really enjoying using that alcohol stove for my coffee in the morning. It's a lot quieter. I can hear everything that's going on around. But I slept great. Very comfortable night's sleep. Woke up about 2:30. Just to use the washroom. There was a little bit of coals left in the fire, so I threw a couple of small logs in there. Laid back in bed. And just that little bit of heat coming off of there warmed me right up. I went right back to sleep. And that sleeping bag kept me warm all night long. But now, I've got a small little fire going just to warm up a little bit. I'm going to start packing up my stuff. I'm going to put all these logs back in the pile. And get ready to head for home. Oh, still a bit hot, but delicious. Fantastic. Oh. Well, I want to thank you all for coming along. It was a wonderful trip. We had a great night. And I want to thank you for all the comments and the likes, the shares. Every little bit helps. But now I think I'm going to end this here. Start packing up this stuff. Getting ready to head out. So if you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more of it, hit the subscribe button. And if you're going to do that, you may as well hit the notification bell. When you do, there'll be a drop-down menu. In that menu, select all. And that should let you know whenever we put out a new video. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.